people have been asking me just what my thoughts are on just kind of the whole situation going on right now, just strategies for just keeping themselves well. And so I just want to go through some things. I will tell you that this is completely unscripted, that I'm just going to kind of speak from my heart here and just kind of give you the information that I have and the things that I know that I am doing and want all of my patients to be doing, and just anybody out there who's looking to stay well to be doing right now at this time period. So number one thing, just in regards to the whole situation in general, there is this virus out there. Obviously, it's in our world right now. It is looking like at some point, we're all gonna have to deal with this in some way or another. And so the best thing that we can do is really make sure that we are ready for it. I was doing a Bible study with my son this morning, and they were talking about the parable of the seeds, and how just an infertile ground seeds can't grow. It's the same thing in our bodies. We're just in infertile environments within our body. Bacteria, viruses, things like that can't grow. So, you see people out there that are obviously perishing from this virus, and you see people that are asymptomatic. It's the same virus. So if that's happening, it's all dependent on what's going on inside the body. So we do have some control in this arena, and that's important to know right now because everything seems to be spiraling out of control. I know seems like that in our lives, but we do have the ability to control some things. And so just want to walk through some strategies that we can do to begin regaining some of that control, to know that we are doing things that can help us move forward. So, the number one strategy that I can give you right now to boost your immune system, because that's what this really all comes down to, is your immune system strong enough to handle this? Just kind of backtracking just a minute, the big thing that people need to understand right now is it's more important now than ever to be digging in to good health. The people that are having the hardest trouble with this condition are the ones that have sicknesses already. And so we need to be having control over what's going on in our body and with our body, and making sure that we are not creating sickness within ourselves that makes us more susceptible to the harsher realities of this condition. And so it's important that we do dig in right now. I've made jokes about, the quarantine 15 and things like that, just that everyone is putting on weight. There's all these memes out there about, overeating and doing all these things. And that's, you're stuck at home. There's depression going on from just not being able to talk to the people that you know. But it's important not to get sucked into that world, but to actually really press into going the other way and trying to get as healthy as you can right now. So strategy number one, and the thing that is most important to be doing right now in regards to taking care of your health, is getting adjusted. So for those of you that are patients of mine or patients with other chiropractors, now's the time to be getting your visits in, potentially even extra visits. Why that's important is that every adjustment reconnects the brain with the rest of the body, the nerves that come out from there to the parts, so that your body can function at its highest level. If your immune system is down, it's because the brain can't get all of its information out to those parts. And so when things are out of position in your spine, that creates an interference there. So if we need to be fighting, or working at 95% to make sure that this thing doesn't attack us, the best way to get there, the best way to get to even 100%, is to make sure that we are getting our adjustments. Every one of your adjustments has been proven. There's people who have done blood tests before, blood tests, within minutes after getting adjusted, that show, white blood cell counts go up, that, T killer counts go up, that, all of the different cells that are parts of your immune system all get activated when you get an adjustment. So it is an immune boost right away, and then it also just helps your body to work better so that the immune system can work at the highest level possible. So that's why that is my number one strategy, because you can take all the vitamins and minerals and everything else and throw it at an immune system that's not working right because it's lost some of its nerve flow, and you can't fire it up any higher than what it is. But you get that nerve interference out of the way, boom, you have now raised the bar a lot. Now you take those vitamins and you are supercharging everything that you can do to make sure that you can be as healthy as possible during this time. And part of that is that not only is it trying to prevent this, but let's say that you do get it, you want to be able to fight it. And so at all times it's making sure that you are as boosted as possible to be able to go through that battle. Number two on my list is avoiding bad foods. So again, it is very easy right now to sit home and just be pounding cake, just wallowing away your sorrows in big batches of ice cream and things like that. But the one thing that is the number one killer of your immune system besides a lack of nerve flow is sugars. So this is not a time to dig into all the sugary stuff, it's a time to dig into the non-sugary things. Things like fasting right now are just really important. Doing it in a healthy way. Obviously, you need to make sure that you know how to do that, but even intermittent fasting is good. Doing block fasting would be good right now. All of those things to turn over the immune system. Make sure within 3 days you can have a brand new immune system, that can be done through some level of fasting going on through there. Body starts to eat away at some of the bad cells and proteins in the body when you start going through periods of fast. So it's a great thing to do, but the big thing is you don't want to be sabotaging yourself. So you're doing all these other things. Maybe you are, doing some of the things I'm going to go over here in a minute. But if you're sabotaging all of that, that's where you start to really run into trouble, because you're like, well, I'm doing these things that you say, but on the back end, you're just taking and sweeping your legs out from yourself when you are putting in all of these bad things. On the other side of this, avoiding the bad foods, is making sure that you are getting nutrients. So all of your fruits and vegetables and healthy foods, like that, they're dense with nutrients. We're going to go over some supplementation that you can do here in a few minutes, but you want to be trying to get that from a lot of your foods. You want to be eating nutrient-dense foods. Things like, like this morning for breakfast, we had a smoothie where we just pack as much nutrient density into that as possible. We've been going out for, there's a place called Clean Juice near our house. We're going there and getting fresh juices, and fresh smoothies to just super pack our body with nutrients. When there is a fight coming at us, you want to have all the stuff available at the ready to be able to go into action. So if you're missing pieces, like if you don't have enough vitamin C or vitamin D or things like that, when your body goes to use them and the gas tank's empty, things don't get fired off. And again, we're stuck with an immune system that can't work the way that it's supposed to. So the best way that you need to really start looking at that is to be eating nutrient-dense foods. One of the big jokes at the time when people started, hoarding all the food out there was that you could go into any grocery store and see, the fruits and vegetable shelves were just packed with stuff. And so it's, that everyone was forgetting the things that you actually should be buying. So we were going to the grocery store like, oh, hey, all the stuff we need, right here. And so get those things, make your smoothies, do what you can to make sure that you're getting as much nutrient density and nutrient quality into the body as possible. On the other side of that is, supplementing. And so, filling in the holes that are there from maybe missing some of the nutrients. And so we were thinking about it the other day, Dr. Leash and myself, we're like, all right, what are the top 5 things that we would really look at when it comes into building up an immune system? And so, over here we have our top 5. Number 1 on our list was vitamin D. So a couple things for this with vitamin D is that there's a sun outside, getting out there and getting in the sun right now, getting some fresh air in your body. I know you can't go far with all the orders and things that are out there, but you can go spend some time in your yard, in your neighborhood, walking around, getting some fresh air in and getting that sun beating down on you to get some vitamin D, but also supplementing it. Making sure that we're getting a lot of vitamin D at this point. For a lot of people out there, you're already starting out deficient there, so you're having to hyperdo it. I'd recommend alternating between 5 and 10,000 IUs a day to make sure that we're really boosting our immune system right now. Vitamin D is one of the things that kicks the immune system off. It's part of that digestive tract where the immune system is located that really gets things started to kind of make this really simple for people. And so you have to have a lot of vitamin D to get that immune system response to happen. And so that's number 1. Number 2, Vitamin C, this is the product we use called C plus Biofizz that we get from Designs for Health. The thing with vitamin C is that obviously most people know that that's good for your immune system in general, but COVID-19 seems to be very susceptible to vitamin C as well. So it seems to be something that is, they've done studies with IV vitamin C and things like that that have really helped to fight this condition itself. And so this one just really makes our list, not only is it just important, but because of this specifically that's going on right now, vitamin C is very important. And this is a high dosage of it. And right now, you can't get too much dosage. It's all very high dosage that's needed. And so even multiple times a day using this product to really boost your vitamin C up. Third on our list, just as far as for helping with fighting things, is what's called silver psyllium spray here. It's colloidal silver. And colloidal silver is very good for being antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral. So just in helping to ward things off right now, making sure that your immune system is at the ready to fight the virus that's going around right now, making sure that everything else is held at bay as much as possible. If you are starting to feel, rundown, sniffles, things like that, this is a great product to help in fighting off whatever might be at the root cause of what's going on through there. Fourth on our list is zinc. Again, specifically towards this condition. I saw something even here recently that all of the symptoms of a zinc deficiency are also all of the symptoms of what COVID-19 symptoms are. Dry cough, sore throat, fevers, intestinal things, all of that happen to be a zinc deficiency as well. And so again, in studies that are being done, zinc seems to be part of the repertoire that is highly effective for fighting this condition. It also helps you to absorb a lot of your other vitamins like vitamin A and things like that that are important for your immune system. So zinc specifically right now is a very important part to your supplement repertoire. Last thing on our list here is probiotics. Probiotics, again, where your immune system is located is in your gut. That's where most of it comes from. So having good, healthy bacteria that is working for us and gives us a healthy immune response is very important. And so loading down on probiotics right now is something that only can benefit you and will just give you that, again, additional charge into your immune system. So those are our top 5 as far as the vitamins and supplements go. Obviously eating foods that are high in these things along with that, just to and just have this be what it is, which is a supplement. In high dosages right now is a good thing as we're just moving for to get us through the next hopefully month or 2 months of this kind of outbreak that's going on. Next thing on my list that is important, and we slightly touched on it before, it's going to be exercise. And why I say we slightly touched on it is that a big part of this is going to be from being outside right now. Get your vitamin D in, get moving, get some fresh air. Why exercise is so important is it's not so much the exercise, which definitely is good for you, but it's the oxygen that comes with that. So cells need oxygen to work at their highest capabilities and their highest levels. So we need to have high levels of oxygen. How do we get that? Breathing hard. So when you're going out and you're exercising and you're starting to breathe a lot harder, you're going to be sucking in more oxygen. If you're doing this outside, you're going to be getting your vitamin D. So again, just a major boost for that immune system is going to be doing things like exercise. And like I said, I prefer that to be outdoor, but even if it's indoor, if you're getting yourself breathing and doing what you can at a higher level, doing some deep breathing, to go along with this. Things like yoga are even good for this, because of the breathing that's there, all to boost those oxygen systems, really overload your body with oxygen so that you can stay healthy also. Last thing on my list, is just to try to, as much as you can, avoid toxins right now. Your body right now is going to be in a fight. There's going to be lots of things where we're doing that. What I mean by avoiding toxins, it goes back to some of these other things, like it's avoiding the bad foods, it's avoiding things like that that are toxic to the body, but watching out for all those other chemicals. Just because we're stuck inside doesn't mean we have to, be microwaving everything, storing everything in plastic containers, just dousing ourselves with all these different chemicals. There's cleaners out there and ways to make cleaners that are non-toxic versus just, so much bleach, so much Lysol, so much of all these other things that are going around there. I see, there's these memes that I've thought have been pretty funny on the internet about, in 10 years from now, they're going to be about, were you part of the pandemic when you were using all the Lysol and all of that? There's lawsuits now to go against these things. And that has been one of my thoughts is, with so much of this stuff and inhaling it, breathing it in right now, that's just all stuff that brings that immune system down. And so when you can use the healthy things, making sure, there's ways to make your own hand sanitizer, to all of these things that you can do to avoid all of that toxic stuff. Still get out there and still get the right things. Obviously financial stuff is the other side of some of these things going right now, but at the same time, the thing that you need to be doing is investing in your body right now. You want to come out on top, in a couple months when all this is blown over, is make sure that right now you're taking the time, the money, whatever it takes to invest in yourself to build a better body. And if you do that, you can stay healthy through this. Like I said, even if you get it, you can win that battle because your body will be at the ready. And that's what we want to be right now, is we want to be ready to fight because things are out there and we just need to make sure that we can get ready. And if we are, then there's nothing to be afraid of. People ask me, am I scared? I'm not scared at all. I know that I'm doing everything I can to make sure that nothing happens to me. And if it does, I know that I have 100% certainty that I'll make it through this. So, if you're not doing these things, especially this one up at the top, I urge you to do that. Whether you live here and can find us or you live somewhere that you can find somebody that you need to start doing that, it's time to move forward. And so get after it and you will be as healthy as you can through this season.